Hey, what's up everyone? Well, I'm so glad that you have took your time to spend with me right here today on the MRB Wrestling Review Show. I am your co-host Mike Big Rock Wilson, and last night, the WWE presented Monday Night Raw. And what I really like about last night's show is that they're going to set up this whole thing with Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton, and not just those two guys that are going to compete for the WWE Championship. Now that it's going to be Daniel Bryan versus the Corporation, and it's kind of reminiscent to Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Corporation. You know, with when Vince was the boss. Now it feels like Triple H is that guy now that Daniel Bryan is going to go after, and I will get to that later on in this review. The show kicked off last night when John Cena came out and stated that he's going to be out for injury for 46 months due to his injury. You should have seen his elbow; it's like golf ball size, and something has to do, you know, with your fluid and stuff like that, etc., etc. And all right, here's the thing about that. I understand when the fans come to these events, you know, they boo whoever they want, they cheer for whoever they want, and we all know that the John Cena fan base, you know, there's a lot of people that dislike John Cena, and there's also people that still like Cena. But for the fans to cheer the fact that John Cena is going to be out for 46 months is just not cool. I think that was kind of crossing the line a bit, and with that being said, hopefully John Cena does get better and come back, as soon as he can. And in the same time, I don't know, if John Cena never had this injury, this new rivalry with Orton and Daniel Bryan probably wouldn't work if John Cena was in the middle of that. So it's kind of justified also in the same time, you know. I understand John Cena has to go through this surgery now, but it is rather worth it because now they can focus on Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton and this whole major corporation thing against Daniel Bryan. And with that being said, like I said, I will get to that later on. Also last night, Cody Rhodes defeated Damien Sandow in a match. And at SummerSlam, you know, we already had this match. And for this match to happen again on Raw, I thought never really helped Cody Rhodes, even though he got the win. Because Damien Sandow has the Money in the Bank briefcase, and he can cash that in at any time. So, you know, like I said, you know, this didn't help Cody Rhodes, but at least, you know, he's gaining momentum out of it. And hopefully this thing with Cody Rhodes pays off one day. Put him in the world title picture. Just the WWE has to make sure that they elevate him the right way. And last night wasn't really the right way to go. But at least, you know, they're doing something with Cody Rhodes. And there's Damien Sandow as well. I mean, Damien Sandow can go on this losing streak like Daniel Bryan did when he was the Money in the Bank winner. And, you know, have him cash in months from now and be that guy to have the World Heavyweight Championship. Also last night, Paul Heyman addressed CM Punk, and Paul Heyman is just so good on the microphone. He's kind of like a used car salesman, and with that being said, Paul Heyman said that let's put this past behind us, and he'll apologize to CM Punk and see if CM Punk will apologize to Paul Heyman. And when CM Punk came out, this whole thing is just going to continue anyway, because what happened was that CM Punk never accepted Paul Heyman's apology, and around the beginning of CM Punk's promo, he kind of got in a little thing with a fan where he kind of booed him, and CM Punk, I don't mind CM Punk, talking back to the guy, but to invite him to the ring again is just another one of those things where they kind of cross the line a bit, and CM Punk kind of crossed that line, and that was kind of not cool on the part of CM Punk. But it's just CM Punk being CM Punk, really. So, with that being said, last night they can't do no wrong right now. CM Punk and Paul Heyman, and with Curtis Axel in the middle of that now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And for CM Punk to have that brawl the night before and then have another brawl, it's just no words can describe how awesome that is. And to have it with Curtis Axel, even though he's the Intercontinental Champion, at least they're trying to do something for Curtis Axel to gain some momentum and some benefit from. So with that being said, this whole thing is going to be, completely off the hook. Nothing wrong with it. CM Punk involved in this brawl with Curtis Axel was absolutely amazing. And this just goes to show that this rivalry with Punk and Heyman is not over by a long shot. I could see this, going on for the next few months, from now. At least maybe to the Royal Rumble or Survivor Series. Also last night, the Funkadactyls defeated AJ Lee and Layla, and it was kind of a weird victory. It was like a roll-up, and it was like, whoa, that threw me right off guard there. Also, the United States Champion and the WWE Tag Team Champions, The Shield, defeated Dolph Ziggler due to the fact that, Dolph Ziggler posted some comments about what happened at the end result of the main event, and resulting in Brad Maddox making this match. And the only thing I kind of don't like about it is that the Shield right now kind of feel like they're being used as corporate minions for Triple H, Randy Orton, and Vince and Steph. And however, I do like the match that happened. It's just the circumstances around it were a little off. And then later on we saw, Brad Maddox make another match when the Shield went 3-on-1 against the Big Show, which resulted in the Shield winning again. And in the same time, it feels like they're being used as corporate minions and not as three individuals who have their own agendas. So it kind of, takes away from what they're doing with the Shield. Also last night, the Primetime Players defeated the Real Americans. And right now, the Primetime Players, they feel like they're being used as a rebirth right now. And I understand that that Darren Young came out. And what I really like is that they're not really using, that he's gay, because it's more of a they're adding their humor element to their tag team, and I like that they're going to use it moving forward as baby faces for the Primetime Players. Also last night, the World Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio defeated Sin Cara, but it was kind of cut short because Sin Cara suffered an injury. And, Alberto Del Rio kind of got, it looked like Alberto Del Rio got upset over it and kind of gained some more heat as well. It was a win-win situation. And then Ricardo Rodriguez came out and said that I am a new manager for someone new, Rob Van Dam. Here's the interesting thing about this. I don't know if anyone knows, but Rob Van Dam had a manager back in ECW. And for Ricardo to be with Rob Van Dam now as a manager, I like that they're mixing it up, because you have two heel managers in Zeb Coulter and Paul Heyman, and now Ricardo Rodriguez is being the babyface manager for Rob Van Dam. This element is going to be interesting because Ricardo Rodriguez can manage any guys who will probably face the world champion, Alberto Del Rio, just to gain some revenge over what Alberto did to Ricardo Rodriguez a few weeks ago on Monday Night Raw. So this is going to be really, really cool, to say the very least, with Ricardo Rodriguez involved as Rob Van Dam's manager. And with that being said, Rob Van Dam, he's not a big talker, and it's good to see him, with a manager, and of all people, Ricardo Rodriguez. And you can't go no wrong with that. Also last night, Bray Wyatt defeated R-Truth in a one-on-one confrontation. And what I like is that, we've seen in the past, all these promos and attacks building up to the Wyatt family as well as Bray Wyatt. And to have that big match at SummerSlam, to have that momentum, winning over Kane, and it continues on Monday Night Raw, really can't go no wrong with that. Right now, the Wyatt family are in a good place right now, and slowly, bit by bit, they're building the Wyatt family up to what could be an awesome 3-pair, and that could, move across as, the next group, even long after the Shield splits up. So, at least the WWE will have a backup plan when it comes to a group within the WWE. Also, the Usos defeated 3MB, and I like the little things that happened in this wrestling match. And the one thing that really made that match even shine is when the Uso fled up the ring in the same time, tagged his brother in, and got the pinfall victory. So those little things like that I really, really enjoy. Also, The Miz defeated Wade Barrett via disqualification, only due to have Fandango come out and leg drop The Miz. And, this sets up a rivalry with The Miz and Fandango, and this is a rivalry that's kind of 50-50. It doesn't help The Miz because, this is something out of character for The Miz to be involved in. And with that being said, this also helps Fandango because he needs a legitimate rivalry to elevate himself as well. And of course, one of my biggest disappointments for the millionth time on Monday Night Raw was this whole situation with Ryback. I think they should just get rid of him completely right now because they really can't do anything with this guy being the bully. And the whole thing backstage with him and this guy, with the bag, pick it up, he throws it, pick it up, pour the water on it, all that stuff, etc., really don't help Ryback at all. The guy should just shut up, go in the ring, and destroy people, and instead they're using him like a bully. And that is not a good thing for Ryback's career, and I think he's going to go get his pink slip eventually. I hope so. If not, use Ryback wisely and not like this bully that, for the millionth time, I just can't stand what they're doing with Ryback. Ryback himself, I don't mind. It's just the way they're using Ryback as a bully and as, the guy who picks on little people. But I'm also trying to play out these scenarios where, it would be cool to see happen. And one of them is that Rey Mysterio could come back and probably stand up for the underdogs and have this rivalry with Ryback. Or Ryback, tries to bully, this little guy and kind of gets, the wrong idea that you shouldn't mess with this little guy, and he just gets, pulverized by him. An underestimated factor, was something like that, these scenarios. But this whole thing with Ryback just don't help him one bit. And the main event, and the final segment on the show, was Daniel Bryan crashing Randy Orton's championship coronation. And the stuff that happened before that was really, really cool. And when Randy Orton came in, he shook hands with Vince and Triple H. And when he hugged Stephanie McMahon, I don't know if anyone noticed, but watch Vince McMahon's reaction when Orton hugged Stephanie. It's just absolutely priceless. Those little things like that, if you didn't notice, replay it again and watch it again, and you'll see what I mean. It's just absolutely hysterical. And what I like about this is that right now, Triple H feels like the guy that's kind of, taking a step ahead, and Vince McMahon taking a step back when it comes to, their positions in this whole rivalry with the corporation versus Daniel Bryan. I feel like that Triple H is the owner of the company, and Vince McMahon is taking a step back. He only said a few lines, and with that being said, Triple H done most of the talking, and I like his little explanations to why he turned on Daniel Bryan, why he pedigreed him at SummerSlam. But we never got all of it, so I like that you always want to leave the audience for more, at least, for more explanations to come within the next few weeks when it comes to this whole thing with Daniel Bryan. And with that being said, you see all the superstars lining up on the ring, and on the ramp, and right outside the ring you see the Shield members, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns. And this kind of made up for what happened, using the Shield, for the matches they were involved in, because right now it looks like it's not just, Randy Orton, Triple H, and Vince and Steph versus Daniel Bryan. This looks like the Corporation and the Shield versus Daniel Bryan, and I think this is a huge mountain for Daniel Bryan to climb, and when he gets to that top of the mountain, this will be the huge, big payoff out of anyone in the WWE right now, because this is the beginning. What happened 2 nights ago at SummerSlam is just the beginning of something great. The way it was done was perfectly executed. Just like on Monday Night Raw, it was pretty well done. Just to see the bad guys gain more, momentum and more heat, and have the underdog Daniel Bryan be that sympathetic character and someone that the audience can relate to as well. And with all that being said, I think this feud, this rivalry, will help Daniel Bryan in the long run 100%, because he'll have the biggest payoff out of anyone right now in the WWE. And that was my review of Monday Night Raw. For the co-host, I'm your co-host for the MRB Wrestling Review Show, Mike McRock Wilson. Get plenty of rest and always do your best.